Thank you. Good morning and welcome to the December 27th meeting of Falmouth Conservation Commission. This meeting this morning is being held solely for the purpose of voting orders of conditions from our last meeting. So and some minutes. So without further ado, first up, we're going to vote minutes December 11th, 2024. Anyone?
I'll make a
I didn't
motion.
attend.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written with any potential changes made by the commission during this hearing.
Hello, Hawk, second.
Thank you. All right, we have a motion and a second to accept the minutes as submitted. Questions or comments? We're voting. Courtney.
Bird eye.
Matthews, aye. Maury.
Hello, Hawk's eye.
Ron.
Driscoll abstain.
And Steve.
Patton abstain.
All right. We still have 4. We have accepted the minutes of December 11th. Thank you, Kristen. Next up are to vote orders of conditions. First up, Melissa M. Beford Trust Agreement, 118 Oyster Pond Road, Falmouth, Mass. Jen, the quorum is all of us, I believe. Melissa. Thank you.
Raise and rebuild. I have special conditions. We need a revised plan. Alyssa, refresh my memory when that one is for. Is that to replace the arborvitaes? Hang on one second, Betsy's calling.
Yep.
Oh, now she's not calling. What do you have, Alyssa? Sorry.
They do have a small picket fence and a chicken wire fence along the back property line. So the picket fence, being in a velocity zone, needs to be removed. And then the chicken wire is inhibiting passage of wildlife. So those will need to come out. They're also missing some of their buffer that was required from an old order.
Right now.
And then we were looking for some trees to be added for the arborvitaes and potentially the dogwood to be removed.
Okay. Yeah, I have removed chicken wire, remove picket, add missing buffer, replace dogwood if it dies, replace arborvitaes. Okay.
All right. Anything anybody want to see in there?
No.
Yeah.
Maury?
The only other thing was that no work on town property
All right.
and to submit the wall plan for the engineered wall. That's all I had. And we did ask why they weren't installing the IA tank, but that's their call.
All right.
Motion to accept the order of conditions as discussed.
Driscoll second.
All right. Betsy, did you hear enough of it?
I did. I've been on since 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Sorry.
We're voting to accept, to issue an order of conditions. Betsy.
Gladfelter, aye.
Courtney.
Bird eye.
Matthews, aye. Maury.
Hello, Hawk's eye.
Ron.
Driscoll aye.
Steve.
Patton aye.
It is unanimous. We have issued an order of conditions. Next up, Josephine F. DeGuy, Thomas S. Crane, trustee of the Thomas S. Crane 2000 Revocable Trust, and Charles M. Crane, trustee of the Brewer Crane Family Trust, 37 Hinckley Road, Falmouth, Mass.
This
And
is
I
to
have that
create,
the quorum is all of us. Jen?
this is to create a berm, renourish, and create a dune and grade the beach. There is a lot of sand that piles up on that beach in the winter storm. So they're gonna take that sand that's kind of over that wall now and move it and use that material to create a dune and berm over there and then vegetate it. Pretty simple. They wanted the permit in perpetuity. And we said they had 3 years if this is issued, and it will be issued before the first. It'll have a 5-year lifespan because of the Permit Extension Act.
Okay, anything anybody want to see in there?
No, I have a
I
question
just
though.
had,
Okay,
Oh, go on, Melissa.
I just had one note based on the first staff comment. We wanted a revised plan showing where the equipment was going to be stored.
Yep.
They said it was going to be up near the boathouse.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Right,
Yeah, so my
Betsy?
question, my question is this permit extension for permits issued prior to January 1st, 2025?
Between January 1st of 23 to January 1st of 2025.
Okay, thanks.
All right, what are you thinking?
Make a motion to accept the order of conditions as discussed.
Driscoll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to issue an order of conditions. Last call, questions or comments? We're voting. Betsy,
Gladfelter, aye.
Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Matthews, aye. Maury,
Carlo Hawks Eye.
Ron,
Driscoll eye.
Steve.
Patton, aye.
It is unanimous. We have issued an order of conditions. Next up, Clayton Jones, 100 Garnett Avenue, Falmouth, Mass. And the quorum excludes myself. Ken,
This is to reconstruct and enlarge an existing deck, add a patio, a plunge pool, front entryway, a reinforced turf parking area. They are doing some restoration for work that was, for clearing that was done in the Zone A without a permit by the prior property owner. And mitigation plantings. I have a revised plan because some of the grading was outside the limit of work. Remove the word brush. We need the reserve area. We need mitigation for that. And I think that was it.
There was a question about where the equipment for that and the lap pool was gonna go. Was that the one?
That's a different project, Courtney.
Okay,
Alyssa,
We also needed the limit of work made more readable on the Crawford plan. I guess it was there, but really, really faint. We also wanted the 2 proposed trees relocated back to the original proposed location. And they were going to be adding more trees to the disturbed buffer restoration.
Got it.
is there anything else?
Hmm.
So I'll make a motion to accept the order of conditions as discussed.
Driscoll second.
we have a motion and a second to issue an order of conditions. Last call, questions or comments? All right, you're voting. Betsy,
Gladfelter, aye.
Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Maury,
Carlo Hawks Eye.
Ron,
Driscoll eye.
Steve.
Patton, aye.
It is unanimous. With that quorum, you have issued an order of conditions. Next up, Richard C. Barrett, trustee, Richard C. Barrett Revocable Trust. Number 3, Childs River Road, East Falmouth, Mass. And you're going to vote simultaneously on 9 Childs River Road, LLC, 9 Childs River Road, East Falmouth, Mass. You guys clear? That's 2 adjacent properties.
This is, this
I'm
is,
sorry, hold on. Maury, you're not on this quorum. All right, sorry, John.
that's okay. This is to put the sheet piling wall in the behind the dock, where there is an existing wall, although the existing wall is cut at grade. There are serious doubts from the Division of Marine Fisheries that this project will there's serious concerns from the Division of Marine Fisheries that this project will adversely affect that salt marsh. And staff shares those same concerns.
All right, Commissioner, I'm sorry, Alyssa.
Nothing to add. Thank you.
Yeah.
So are we gonna condition staff concerns into this order? Is that what we're considering?
I have a comment, Jamie.
Well, Courtney, are you done?
Yep.
Okay, Betsy.
So I just want to point out that the testimony from the engineer last time was that there was sufficient flow coming as the tide came in and as the tide came out. But you do realize that there was no wall there at the time. There's going to be a 1 to 2 foot wall with a little slot. And as I stated the first time, and I agree with Jen and with Division of Marine Fisheries, this is not going to be sufficient flow to allow marsh to live behind that wall. That's all, Jamie.
Okay, and if we do nothing, the wall falls apart?
The wall's not going to
there.
fall apart. It's cut at grade.
The wall's below grade. It's cut at the grade. They're concerned with the erosion. And
Well-
I think they have other alternate designs they could explore they could make the ramps longer for the dock so they can still access the dock. There was talk at, I think, the original hearing about placing that wall much further landward so you're not impacting the marsh at all. The whole thing is they want to literally put this wall in that salt marsh. And then cut weep holes in it to think that's gonna just provide enough flow. And the state agencies are very doubtful that it's going to work.
They could use a soft solution there also.
So,
Okay, Courtney?
so are we headed toward denying this? Is that where we're going?
Well, we're just getting everybody's comments first. Steve?
I was impressed with the engineering's presentation. I think it's, we're going to be facing a lot of issues like this on how to creatively address concerns. And I personally think that this could be one that needed to be monitored closely, but has a lot of potential and other applications.
Yeah. All right, I tend to agree with Steve. So the procedure is going to be, just hear me out. We're going to need a motion and a second to issue an order of conditions. And if you don't agree with it, you're going to vote against it. And so you're not actually voting for a denial. Is that accurate, Jen?
Correct. You always put a positive motion on the table. And then if you do not want to vote for the project, you just vote no. That said, if you are going to approve the project, there does need to be some fairly strict monitoring requirements to make sure the salt marsh,
Yeah.
they have to do something.
Yeah.
Again, it's not on us. We're not stopping anything. They have other options they can explore. They just don't want to. They want a wall. And I'm going to tell this board right now, we're going to be seeing a lot of these sheet piling walls to stop erosion. And it's basically armoring salt marshes and armoring coastal banks. So again, I have a lot of concerns based on the Division of Marine Fishery comments, as well as setting a precedent. But I will write whatever order this board would like me to write.
All right, any other questions, comments, concerns? All right, what are you thinking?
I'd make a motion to issue an order of conditions as discussed, particularly with a strengthening of the monitoring, very specifically outlined program.
Okay.
Driscoll second.
All right, so we're clear. We have a motion and a second to issue an order of conditions as discussed. Last call. All right, we're voting. Betsy,
Gladfelter, no.
Courtney,
Bird, no.
Matthews, aye. Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Steve.
Pat and I.
All right, it's 3-2, majority wins. We have issued an order of conditions for number 3 and number 9, Childs River Road. If it doesn't work out, Jen, you can come after me.
Or me.
And me.
I know where all of you people are.
Yeah.
But I'm moving,
Alright.
so I may give you.
No,
money.
I'll write together a pretty strict monitoring protocol.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, we have to start somewhere. I mean, all right, next up, David Ryan, Cape Cod Oyster Company, Narragansett Harbor, North Falmouth, Mass. The quorum excludes Ron and Steve. Jen,
This is just basically, it's an existing oyster grant that was permitted many years ago. It is being transferred to the Cape Cod Oyster Company, and he is basically proposing to change the farming method from bottom cages to floating cages on the top. We have no concerns with it.
excellent. Alyssa,
Nothing to add. Thank you.
I'll make a
Alright.
motion to accept the order as discussed.
Carlo Hawk, second.
all right, questions or comments? We're voting to issue an order of conditions. Betsy,
Gladfelter, aye.
Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Matthews, aye. Maury.
Carlo Hawk's eye.
It is unanimous with this quorum. We have issued an order of conditions. Next up, John and Lisa Almquist, 43 Neves Way, Falmouth, Mass. The quorum excludes Ron. Jen,
Yep, this is basically to redevelop the hardscaping around the existing house. There's a lot of concrete and pavement there, so they're removing a lot of pavement. They're undertaking an invasive species management program on the coastal bank. We'll need a pre-construction for the invasives. The invasive will be ecological Brad Humpton's group, ERC or ECR, I can't remember which one it is. We'll need a pre-construction with them because they haven't given us a plant count. So we are going to, they just tell us what plants they're going to do. It is 60% invaded, so we do have an idea of how many plants will be necessary to revegetate this bank. But the concerns with the staff without a more detailed plan is that we're going to have a lot of big, large bare areas. So I would like written into the order of conditions that, you know, if the staff has concern with these large areas, they're going to have to replant additional plants. You know, we'd like to see these plants in these restoration areas 4 to 5 feet on center. And my concern is we're going to have a spacing much larger than that. So I would like that written into the order. And they had given us that 1,700 square foot number the day of the hearing. So other than that, again, it's just a lot of hardscape improvements.
all right. Alyssa,
Nothing to add. Thank you.
all right. Questions or comments?
I just
Lori.
had one that, when they start or give you the plan, Jen, for the, bank nourishment and revegetation, that there's some kind of stabilization there, because it's a really steep bank.
Yep.
So they're
Yeah,
gonna
we'll have
put
a
jute mat or,
pre-construction. They'll have to jute mat it.
something. Okay, yeah, because I didn't see any of that in their order,
Okay.
in their plan. Okay, thank you.
All right, anything else? What are you thinking?
I'll make a motion to issue an order of conditions as discussed.
Patton second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to issue an order of conditions. Last call. All right, we're voting to issue the order of conditions. Betsy,
Gladfelter, aye.
Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Matthews, aye. Maury,
Hello, Hawks Eye.
Steve.
Patton, aye.
It is unanimous. With this quorum, we have issued an order of conditions. Next up, Taylor May Carroll, trustee, 115 Childs River Road, Falmouth, Mass. And the quorum is all of us. Jim,
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the project is a bank. Not a bank, a dock extension. So they're extending the existing dock. There's also a lot of gravel on the property that they had not permitted. So they are removing all of that gravel and just mulching it. Their concern with the gravel when they placed it is they had a water issue. The house is built on a slab, does not have a foundation. And we kind of we suggested putting in a dry well to handle the roof runoff, and they have declined to do so. So it's just back to being mulch. So fully intend to see this property again when they're, struggling with the same water issue they had at the beginning, but they just did not want to put that dry well in.
what was the
Or
rationale for that?
mitigate.
What was the rationale for not putting a dry well in?
Don't know. They just didn't put it in. They
that's
did
the
not want to
simplest
mitigate for the
solution in the world.
gravel. Yeah, they didn't want to mitigate for the gravel around the foundation, and they opted to just make it all mulch again.
We can't mandate a dry well.
I mean, if it's causing runoff into the wetland, we can, but I think this was more of the front part of the house they were having more of an issue with.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Alyssa, did I ask you? I'm sorry.
No, just my only note was, I think we had intentions of requiring the gravel to be removed prior to approving the dock work. Thanks.
All right. Anything else? All right, what are you thinking?
I'll make a motion to issue an order of conditions as discussed.
Driscoll second.
All right, we have a motion, excuse me, a motion and a second to issue an order of conditions. Last call for questions or comments. We're voting to issue an order of conditions. Betsy,
Gladfelter, aye.
Courtney,
Bird, aye.
Matthews, aye. Maury,
Hello, Hawks Eye.
Ron,
Driscoll, aye.
Steve.
Patton, aye.
It is unanimous. We have issued an order of conditions. And that's all we have, folks. Thanks, Kristen. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Jamie, I had a question, if I
Go
could.
ahead.
Just so everybody knows, there's a 30-day window if you have any comments for the wind turbines out in Nantucket Sound. It's just written, comments or concerns. There's no discussion, and it will be on a webinar, but it's kind of a debacle out there, and I just think that if anybody's interested in protecting the environment, I know wind is supposed to be the big wonder, but all of there's, I think, 25 or 30% of these blades are compromised, and they're investigating their integrity. So, and after this summer, and we're on Bowman's Beach, we're still picking up large pieces of that junk, the wind turbine blade. So they might think it's wonderful. It's a foreign company, and as a conservation commission, they're saying that there's no whale issues. I have a commercial fisherman that goes out there and he has seen dead whales out there. So, and they have 100, they're allowed 100 for taking in their permit. So I just think that I know it's a balance between improving the environment by our carbon footprint, but there's always a payment back. And I don't know if this one's worth the payment back. So you can do it individually, and if you know people that are concerned about it, just let them know. It's a short period. They put a very short time period on it. December 30th is the deadline.
Okay,
Is this,
Thank you.
is this Vineyard Wind or South Cape Wind?
The one off the Vineyard Wind.
Yeah.
They haven't built all the other ones on Cape Wind yet. Thank you.
all right. Anything else? Last motion, who wants it?
I'll make a
Make a
motion to
motion.
adjourn.
Harlow Hawk second.
Gladfelter, aye.
Bird eye.
Matthews, aye.
Driscoll, aye.
Oh, sorry, Harlow Hawk's eye. I forgot Kevin wasn't here. I was waiting.
And
Pat and I.
it is unanimous. We are adjourned.
Oh.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
New Year to
Happy New
everybody.
Year.
Good night, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, making it so easy.
Yeah. For another great year.
Well done.
Woo.
Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you, Kristen. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New
Thanks,
Year.
everybody. Happy New Year.